In this video, I'm going to go over how to calculate, reconcile your checkbook. So when you read the directions, it says if you track your monthly checking account transactions manually, it's important to compare your records with those of the banks to make sure that you have an accurate knowledge of how much is in your account. In this activity, you will reconcile or compare and match a sample checkbook register and a bank statement. So, part one, you are provided different definitions of what a checkbook register is, a bank statement, and the reconciliation worksheet itself. Read over these. Part two, this gives you the exact directions of what you need to do. Now, I noticed several of you either skipped this activity altogether or did not fully read the directions. Please make sure if you have questions that you actually ask me for help instead of just making assumptions or not doing the work, or make sure you're actually reading the directions altogether. So match the checkbook up with the bank statement. This means that when I'm looking at this is the sample checkbook register, and this right here is the actual bank statement. So we're trying to compare to figure out if there's anything missing between them. So at the end of the day, they should have the exact same balance. So we're going to go through and look at the different fees. So for example, sample of the completed checkbook register, we have this fun games that's $59.99. We have this $500 deposit. Then we have this $15.22 that was a dinner, and so on. So I need to compare those to what I have in my bank account right here. So the bank statement, we're kind of trying to figure out what's missing or what doesn't quite line up. So if we're looking through this, I see this $59.99. I see the 500. I see 50, 43. So I'm going to go back up and check and make sure. Do I have a 50? Yes. Do I have a 43? Yes. Okay. So then we have the 600 for deposit, and then this 56.73 and $75. So we're going to go back down here and see. Okay, I have a $600. I have a $20. I have this 56.73, but then I don't have something else after that. So potentially one of the things that don't line up, it seems, is the $20 that was in the bank statement, and then the $75 right here that is in the check register. You can also see that there's this online store one transaction that was not accounted for either. So knowing that you have identified whatever is missing from each of these, you're now going to go through this part right here. So where it says outstanding checks, depending on what the check is, if there is a check associated with it, so if it was a withdrawal, you're going to write the check number right here, and then you would write the amount here. So if I withdrew $20 for something, and then I would have the check number here and then minus 20 here. So you're going to list the things that were not the same in both of those statements that you were looking at. From there, you'll add up the total. So you're going to add up whatever was missing that was withdrawn, whatever was missing that was added, and you should get a total here. You're not doing anything else besides only writing down the ones that did not line up in the two statements. From there, you're going to record the balance shown on the bank statement. So I go back to the bank statement. I look at the balance shown. Okay, I'm going to type that right here. Plus, now we have to do the deposits. So deposits are what amounts were positive. What did I gain? So if I gain any amount and it was written over where the outstanding checks are, I would write it right here. And then I would add those two lines together to get my subtotal. Once I have my subtotal, I would move on to the next line and write down if I had any outstanding checks. So anything that I was losing money to. So if I paid for anything that I didn't necessarily see match up between the checkbook register and the bank statement, I'm going to write that total here. And then I'm going to subtract whatever that amount is from my subtotal to get my adjusted balance. So please make sure while you are doing this that you are asking questions, paying attention, and make sure you're also reading the directions.